everybody. Welcome back. Woody here with you again. Been getting some questions regarding cast saw blades, particularly the 940 unit, the 940 cast saw made by Stryker. Today we'd like to talk about those main different types of blades, what you might need for your particular setting, ER versus urgent care versus an orthopedic practice. When Stryker was producing the blades, they had their very most basic blades. They had the 940-2.3, the 940-2.5, and the 940-3.5. There is a 940-2.6, which we'll talk about briefly in a moment. Starting with the basics, there are a few differences. The 940-2.5, which I actually have right here for you, it's a basic hardened polished steel blade, performs very well. Very well. We use these in the clinic. We knock out sometimes 10, 20, 30 cast removals a day. Some other places, like for example an ER or an urgent care or a standalone, might only do 5 or 10 casts a quarter removing. This blade performs very well for that function. It'll last quite a long time. I removed it off one of our units to present in this video. I can easily put it right back on the unit and it'll perform very well. It still has a lot of life left in it. I think this particular blade is probably removed 40, 50, 60 cast. It's still very sharp, hasn't really dulled very much. As you can see, there's no heat damage whatsoever or any kind of heat discoloration to the blade. It's done very well. This is the hardened, polish, non-coated 940-2.5. It's a good blade if you need it for those reasons. The next blade I'd like to talk about is the 940, the 3.5. Now the 3.5 has a little bit different presentation. It has a gold coating to it. Let's see if I can do this with the light on it. There you go. It has a gold coating to it. The gold coating is it's a titanium nitrided blade. It's what it does. It has a lubricant type properties in the coating. And this is meant to help not overheat or wear down the motor of the unit too much if you're doing like large cast removals or numerous cast removals. It's meant to not overheat your cast saw motor so that you don't have to send this in for a tune-up or a rebuild or whatever. This is the 943.5. It is the gold presentation is the titanium nitrided surface, and again, it's the whole purpose of it is to the lubricant. I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly. The lubricant type properties are meant to make it so that the motor of the cast saw doesn't overwork, and again, in the hopes that it also helps it from keeping from overheating. That's the 943.5. Currently on this particular unit here, I have the 940-2.6. Now I'd like to talk about the 940-2.6. The 940-2.6. It's a great blade. It's a great blade. It is a black blade in presentation. The black coating is Teflon. It's a Teflon coating. It is fantastic for working with pediatrics, and I'll tell you why. The Teflon coating creates that extra layer of protection from the blade overheating. Now, I won't lie to you, I'll be very honest. If you look at this very closely, let me see if I can get it close to the camera. You can see the black, where the black coating was, and how you can see up here, as it's made contact with the numerous casts, the black coating has worn off. Now, this is important to express to you guys. The black coating does wear off, but this particular blade has probably cut off 100 casts since I put it on. And it took at least half of those casts, 30, 40, 50 casts for that Teflon coating to start wearing off. Now that's 30, 40, 50 casts that was that extra layer of protection from overheating, particularly when it comes to children or children that are reluctant, or they're kind of fighting you a little bit, or they're kind of mobile. It's a great blade. And even now with the coating's kind of worn off a little bit. The blade is still quite sharp. It's a very well done blade, very well made. It is it's really well produced. I like this blade very much. I've left it on this unit to show you that it's an actual, we're using this. We used today alone, this is the end of our day. I think today alone, we probably cut off 20 more casts before I did this video, and I plan on leaving this blade on for quite some time. It's doing very, very well for us, and I like it, and I want to vouch for it. That's the 940-26 black Teflon coated blade. It very much reduces the risk of high temps or overheating. Definitely a lot less strain on the motor itself. And the blade itself, it just like the standard 2.5, the teeth stay nice and sharp. It's a really, really nicely done blade. The only blade we haven't talked about, and we're already over the 5-minute mark, so I'm going to try to make it short, is the 940-23. This is an ion nitrate treated blade. It's not a coating like the gold blade I showed you, the 3.5. It is a chemically treated blade. The chemical, the ion, let's see the best way to explain this to you. The way it's designed is that the ion, the nitrogen ions create this ion bond with the metal, and it makes it so that it's a stronger metal, longer lasting, definitely made to outperform all the other blades we've talked about. Now, the only problem with this is that this blade, it halted production. The production of the blade was halted during the whole COVID thing. It was coming out of Ireland, and so these blades, they've been hard to come by, the 940-23s. They are typically a more expensive blade because of the process that it has to go through for this treatment, this nitrogen ions to bond. It's an expensive and it's a real high-tech process. So typically the blades cost more when you find one, but they outlast and they outperform all these other blades. And usually, if you're in a high volume thing, or if you have a certain type of budget where you can only buy one blade, say one blade every, once a year or biannually, this is the blade for you. Now, unfortunately, like I said, they were coming out of Ireland, and they halted production. Which once they get to that point and they're producing them, I think it's going to be I'm looking forward to it. And if it's anything like this Teflon blade, I think it's going to be a great blade. I think it's going to be fantastic. And then of course we will order them here in our practice and so on. I hope that going through these blades has helped with like I said, you've got the 2.5. Excuse me. You've got the 2.5, which is your standard hardened steel blade, which is just perfectly fine, and it works great, and it's affordable. And if you're not banging out, if you're not cutting out a couple hundred casts a month, it'll last you a long time. You've got the 3.5, which is the gold, the titanium nitrated coated blade. The Teflon blade, which I'm a big fan of. I'll be very honest, I'm a big fan of it. That's the 940-26. And I'm very excited to see how they reproduce the 940-23, because in the orthotech or orthopedic world of casting and cast removal and all that, the 940-23 was notorious for being the blade everybody wanted. So of course, now that we can't get them, we're substituting with all these other blades. So I hope that this has helped or been informative. And again, if anything comes up, please, as you've done before, message me and send me DMs or message me in the comments, and I'll be happy to go over whatever I can or pass over any information without bias. Of course, I'll give you all the fair information you want as far as where to get this or where to get that, or what I think is in your best interest, or as far as your budget or whatever. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and talk to you soon. Thanks.